Welcome to Spirit Sessions, and this is our special Lionsgate edition. And this year we wanted to get you a specialist in the Lionsgate energies and what is it all about? What's this Lionsgate thing all about? And how can we prepare for it? We started decorating for Lionsgate season. We have our yellow candles. We have everything going on. We're out in the sunshine enjoying all that Lionsgate energy coming in starting for this Lionsgate. And we have our favorite Leo with us today, Katie Steinle.
I'm a Leo.
Yeah. And Katie Steinle is an energetic specialist and the founder of Discover Your Design, using human design to unlock your energetic blueprint, allowing the people to realign with their true essence and tap into their greatest potential. So see Katie after the show and get your human design nailed down with her, and she can give you all sorts of great information, and we'll have her explain a little bit more about what she does later on. But first, I'd like to welcome you to this special Lionsgate edition with my co-host Teresa Warren and our special guest, our special Leo guest, Katie Steinle. Katie, we are going to ask you the first question, and then I'm going to let Teresa talk to you the rest of the time because it's her favorite season. She says even better than Christmas. Lionsgate. So, please, for someone who is totally ignorant about astrology and what a north and south node is, I still haven't got it figured out. Tell us what all the hype is about Lionsgate and why should we be excited about it and how we can prepare.
Well, thank you, Rhonda. What a great lead in. And I'm so excited to be here just because this is, my special time of the year. But I think whether you're a Leo or not, what is so wonderful about this time of the year and this Lionsgate portal is you can't help but feel the peak of summer and sun and energy and vitality and manifestation and all the things that the Lionsgate portal really opens up and magnifies for us in our lives. So I'm just delighted to be here and get everybody dialed in, and we're going to do some biofeedback. So we'll do some attuning to the highest level of frequency that we can experience in this magnified time of powerful light coming into our fields and just beaming down on us. And we are just absorbing this when we stay in a place of allowing and not forcing. Because I think, depending on what you've read about Lionsgate, there's a lot of hype about it and people get really excited because basically what Lionsgate is it's kind of a combination of astrology, esoteric wisdom, numerology, all of these different wisdoms coming together. And it culminates on August 8th. That's kind of like the peak. But you can feel if you're tuned in, if you're tapped in, if you're, awake and aware, this is big energy. So it's already moving into, our field. And what it correlates to is, I think most people have heard of the star Sirius. It's a sister star to our sun. It's actually 24 times brighter than our sun, which is why we feel, so much extra energy as we move into the astrological sign of Leo that happens on July 22nd every year. Leo's ruled by the sun. So the sun is in its natural amplified elemental state in that month of July 22nd to August 22nd. And then you also have in like the Egyptian cultures and some of the ancient cultures, they really revered the star Sirius because of its power and its magnitude. And at around the time, of this August 8th, you will start to see, you could probably already start to see it. Sirius comes into view by the naked eye. And so Lionsgate is when in this time of August, it usually goes July 28th peaks August 8th, and then you'll feel it, again for a couple weeks after. But you literally, if you go out and look at the sky right before dawn, you can see the star Sirius, aligns directly overhead. And Sirius has always been known and believed to be our spiritual sun. We get our life and our vitality and, everything that we need to sustain ourselves from, the sun that we see every day. But this is such a magical time of year because you have basically, our sun, that big yellow ball in the sky. And now you've got, the spiritual sun, both of them together shining brightly over us. And on top of that, I mean, anybody that's, kind of been tapping into, all of this incoming light and energy that we've been feeling now for a while, we have been really just getting blasted with solar flares and increase. You guys are nodding your head. Have you felt, a lot of people have been actually feeling, wonky and, just needing extra rest just to process all the light that has been coming at us in EMFs. How have you guys been feeling?
Yeah, sometimes more anxious even, like why
Yes.
am I feeling anxious for no reason? Like no reason. I'm just feeling like doom and gloom. But yeah, and sometimes it's just euphoric as well. So it's a weird time. Yeah, we're getting blasted.
We sure are. And, I'm glad you brought that up about feeling anxious because a lot of times when you read stuff online about Lionsgate or, all of the light that we have been receiving for a while now, people automatically think, oh, that's great. I should be feeling wonderful. Why am I, feeling like uneasy or nervous or, just different things, headaches, things like that. But think about our nervous systems. We are electromagnetic beings, and the magnetism piece of us comes from our mineral content, which is our connection to the earth. Just like when you dig your feet in the soil, all the minerals and the organisms. I mean, when you look at our gut biome, they're finding out more and more about how powerful our microbiomes are. It's essentially the same. There's a lot of the same organisms. I mean, we are composed of both, earth and sky, and we are the breath of stars. So that electricity, that electrical part of us, if you've ever had acupuncture done, you've probably heard of the meridian system that maps out, kind of the electrical energetic pathways of our body. And that's basically just like you were in science class and learned about photosynthesis with plants. That is why the sun plays such a vital role, that is giving us so much of our energy. And we are basically water beings, right? So just like a plant takes the sunlight and the rain and the moisture, and that's what it feeds off of, right? Our DNA basically eats light, if you want to think of it that way, and stores light. So that's why when we have these powerful times where there's extra amplified, amounts of energy, it's a lot for our nervous system to take in. And our nervous system is being pushed and prompted to continually upgrade, to be able to hold all of this light coming in. So of course, that extra energy running through your system, and you're trying to kind of ground it in, just like you'd plug something into a socket, to kind of ground it in and hold it. It is very common to have these kind of, people say ascension symptoms, but it's all good. And the more you can do right now I would actually encourage you, if at all possible, go out and spend some time in the sun each day, because this is just such an opportunity for us to really be able to release a lot of density. The veil has become and is continuing to become, thinner and thinner, as we and the earth, kind of start to upgrade and absorb and really be able to hold all of this light. So you can think of Lionsgate as kind of like I think we were talking about, Christmas, right? Like, it is this time to celebrate, right? And to really, run towards the light, and allow yourself to receive, this beautiful upgrade, because you will start to find, if you have not already, that being able to hold all of this light energy allows you to play more of an active role in co-creating your life, really calling in and being aware of, what timeline am I going to choose with each decision that I make in any given day? And the more that I am a clear channel, to be able to hold the highest possible timeline, the highest possible expression of myself, all the better. And then you compile that with, you've got the Leo energy, which I had mentioned before. Leo is ruled by the sun. The sun is at home in the state of Leo. And when you look into Leo energy, Leo is ruled also by the heart, in the body. And our heart is our internal sun. You always, I'm sure you guys have heard that saying, as above, so below. It's so simple, but I'm telling you, it is the key to everything. We are not separate. We tend to look up at the sky and go, oh, okay, those are stars. Those are far away, like, I don't know, I'm not really connected to that. But I think as we are receiving these upgrades that we've been getting now consistently, from an astrological standpoint, we've had, a lot of major events happening succinctly, you know what I'm trying to say, succinctly. You can really start to see, kind of this pattern, and how the kind of the undercurrent or the background frequency of all this energy, these neutrinos that are the smallest particles that can actually move through matter. We are matter, right? They can, so basically, when you are just moving through your day, you're also absorbing, we're swimming in this beautiful ocean, right, of interconnected energy. So the more you can kind of do things like what we're doing today, where you're taking time out to really kind of educate yourself, empower yourself to really know what is happening, how you are being subtly influenced by the energetic patterns, and then doing things like the biofeedback, the attunement, so that you can really, when you break everything down, Einstein proved, everything breaks down to a frequency. We are vibration. So just like you tune a musical instrument so that it plays at that finest tune, why would you not take the time, like we're doing today, to do that for yourself? So I just light up when we get an opportunity to do this kind of stuff, and it just makes me so excited. And I wanted to, before just I start to go into all the details, we are going to wrap this up with a ritual that you can do as we are moving into, this portal of this vortex of manifestation energy. And so now's a great time, if you can.
Yeah, because it's not live. We're pre-recording. You can just hit the pause button and you're not going to miss anything. So go.
That helps a lot sometimes.
Yep. What we're going to do is we're going to do a little ritual with the biofeedback attunement. And if you can find a yellow candle, Rhonda's holding hers up. I've got mine, or an orange candle. Oh, good. Teresa's got hers. We are ready to go on our end. This is going to, we're going to create a beautiful sacred space. Grab some sage, because we're going to clear our space as we do this ritual. Thank you, Teresa. She's our gal. She's got it all the time. She's always making sure we're in clear, beautiful energy, pure light. That's what I want you guys to focus on when you are, navigating through the next couple of weeks. Just close your eyes throughout the day and just, really picture yourself being a clear vessel, and just, taking in and absorbing and receiving this beautiful light. That we are upgrading to be more moving from carbon-based beings to light-based beings. So The yellow candle, orange candle too, will represent our sun, which, like I said, we are honoring with the Leo energy. And if you have a blue candle, that will represent the Sirius star energy. So we're going to light both of those and then have a journal on hand, because after we do the attunement, will be a great time. You'll be very open. You'll be at a very high vibrational frequency as far as inspiration. So after we wrap up the show, it'd be a great time for you to just carve out a few minutes and maybe write down anything that is coming up in your field, or creating your dream life, calling in. This is a manifestation portal, so calling in what you want to receive in this this next 6 months, this next year. So yeah, just wanted to throw that out there. And let's get back to just giving you a little bit of breakdown on this energy, just so you've got. I found this is what I love about the human design, piece that Rhonda mentioned that I specialize in, because, the key to everything is really awareness. And when you can really start to deeply understand something and wrap your head around it, your mind's not trying to grasp something and control something anymore. Your mind allows your mind to kind of relax and move back into the passenger seat, right? And be more just like the observer and the witness, and not emotionally reacting and trying to spontaneously, make bad choices just to make you feel safe in that moment, but not really, right? So then your body, you can move forward with really being grounded in your purpose. Like, what is your best life? What are you here to do? And allowing your intuition, your body's wisdom, that in any given moment, 90% of what we're talking about the nervous system, of what your nervous system, your senses, your cognition is taking in, you aren't even consciously aware of. So, I mean, think about that, because essentially you're walking around really only harnessing, maybe 10% of your energy, of your manifestation ability, right? So, this Leo energy is all about shining the light on your heart, expressing what you want to be, what you want to do, like what brings you joy. So start to kind of think about these things as we, kind of break down the energy a little bit more. And this will get, things kind of churning for when you do move into that journal time. So I wanted to start before I really kind of break down the Lionsgate even further. I think it's really important, because Teresa and I were talking, I think, before we jumped on, about how much astrologically is going on. Like she said, it seems like this Lionsgate, I'm hearing that it's even more powerful maybe than it's been, in recent years. And we're talking about how many different astrological events we've got going on that are contributing to this. So
I thought of one more.
What?
I thought of one more. It's okay. It's in the middle. 2 supermoons and then 2 more supermoons. So there's 4 supermoons altogether, and Lionsgate is like right in the middle of those 2.
Oh, wow.
Wow. That's awesome, because that the as above, so below, it and how interconnected everything is. I mean, yes, right now we are in summer, our eyes are turned up to the sun and the sky, but you're right. The moon is everything in this, universe, this reality that we're in is binary. There's a binary code, just like what writes computer code, when you break everything down universally that we see and we touch and we feel and we experience, you can break it down to very specific, geometric, mathematical patterns and fractals of energy. And I love that, Teresa, because that just shows you, that's a great example of how the balance of the universe knows, like that there's always this greater divine plan, even when you think your life is going to hell in a handbasket. If again, it's about getting your mind to get out of the way and to calm down and to get into, the passenger seat and to be able to trust that your energy, that 90% of you that's operating and really truly guiding you in any given moment. If you can let that lead, then is an electromagnetic being in the right places at the right times, right? To draw in the right experiences. You're in the right, time and space, perspective. You're being held in a magnetic frequency. But I can nerd out about that like another time. So yes, I love what you said, Teresa. That is so powerful and important. Again, very amplified energy for manifestation right now. So word to the wise, really be aware and be careful of what you are thinking and focusing on, in this next month, because you will find that things are going to come to fruition, very easily. You'll be like, whoa, how did that happen so quickly? It is because we're in this amplified time, and we have, I always think of it, you just have all of this support, this universal support, that when you can get like a surfer, and kind of get on top of that wave of energy, you can really ride it and call in, some beautiful things that will happen quickly in your life. Interestingly enough, this summer, we are going to have seven, that's a lot, planets in retrograde. And if you aren't sure what retrograde is, all retrograde is if you were to look up in the sky and look at, the planetary rotations, these are times where the planets each go through their own cycles, where the planet will appear to be moving backwards in the sky. And what that does to us, because we are influenced, by the planetary directions and, behaviors.
Do we age backward?
Yeah, really. I mean, let's call that in, right? Straight up, straighten that down.
I want to age. I want my
Why
2
not?
years
Yeah.
back.
I think I want about 10 years.
I was just thinking I want my COVID years back, but that's okay. We'll
Yeah.
start
That's
small.
right, sister. You know what? I love this. Like, between the three of us, we will get some good ideas out there for you guys to stuff to call in, because anything is possible right now. Like, do not underestimate what, is possible right now. But what's interesting, when planets go into retrograde, each planet has its own, kind of consciousness, right? And its own kind of frequency. And so that in turn, influences us. When planets go into retrograde, this is a time, kind of like what Rhonda's alluding to, where you are kind of called inward. It's a more introspective time in those particular areas. And you'll find maybe like patterns repeating themselves. Like maybe you had a fallout, like you hear Mercury retrograde a lot. That's when that one goes into retrograde a lot. And people go, oh, Mercury's about communication, right? So when Mercury's in retrograde, it's like you'll email somebody and, oh, I never saw your email, it never came through. I can't tell you how many times I've left people voicemails and they go, I'm telling you, it showed up 3 days later. Like, I don't know what happened. There's just kind of, when things go retrograde, there can be kind of like glitches, or you might have a fallout with a friend, and then somehow that friend you bump into, and it's an opportunity for you to really go back and look at some things where you didn't feel like you were able to kind of finish them cleanly, and maybe you'll have opportunities to go back and touch base on this, and in a way impact your past to influence your future. So 7 planets in retrograde, make no mistake. Like I said, the universe does everything in a very, it's non-emotional, right? It's a very, there's a reason why everything is happening. So we've got this really amplified energy, but then we've also got this time of kind of like, you might find, even though summer's usually like snapping and popping, you might feel like a pull this summer to feel like, oh, I need a little more alone time, or, gosh, especially, relationships, because we've got, Venus just going into retrograde. That's a biggie because Venus obviously rules love and rules our worth, what we value within ourselves, which is that Leo energy of, wait, hold up, what's important to me? I want to have pride in what I do, like a lion, right? Like I want to go out and rule, what matters to me instead of being passive aggressive, or you might find opportunities in your relationships to really put yourself and your needs first, and you might find it more easy to have the conversations, the difficult conversations with people about what matters to you. Also, because in addition to the 7 planets that are going retrograde, we this week are having a nodal shift. And I think Rhonda was saying earlier, she's like, yeah, what are these nodes and Lionsgate? Like, can we just break all this stuff down? And so, funny enough, yeah, the nodes. The nodes are, they create our kind of our timeline, right? The nodes aren't planets. The nodes are where the moon is on the horizon. So, kind of like you think of, like east-west points, when a sun sets, it's kind of a similar thing. There's a lot to it. It's very complex. But about every 18 months, the nodes change signs. And what that does is it sets kind of a new karmic cycle. So just like the stage, when you see a play, the nodes are, think of the nodes as the stage that your life is playing out on, so kind of the environmental energy of what you're going to be tuned into seeing, just like we all 3 could go into a Starbucks together and look around, but we would each see different things, right? Just the way that we're wired and, the glasses that we're looking through. And that's what the nodes do. They kind of just tune you to be a little bit more aware of, specific energies that are moving in and out of your life. And the nodes are moving into Aries. We have the North Node where we are headed, and then the South Node where we are coming from. The North Node is switching to Aries. South Node is switching to Libra. And so guess what? Aries is all about, Aries is it's the first sign of the zodiac. And if Nancy's watching, she's a great one.
Too. Nancy and I are Aries.
And Rhonda.
Okay, Rhonda, tell us what do you feel like Aries energy is? How would you describe it?
Pioneer's adventure. It's like going forth, never finishing anything. Sorry.
It is. That's a good point.
Stir the pot and then walk away. Yeah, that's me.
And it's about me first, right? Like I'm going to be the first one out of the gate. Like it's a very me focused energy. So you've got this time now where you've got this, 7 planets in retrograde. So it's let me really dive deep into figuring myself out so that I can release, these patterns and the shadow stuff that no longer works for me, so that I can hold more light, because if you're filled up with gunk, I mean, think about it, if you're just dense, sticky, holding on to the past, you're not going to be able to receive this opportunity for, like the massive upgrades in consciousness that we are, being blessed with right now. So right. Yes, you might, and again, that's why, relationships might be kind of like a theme, for the next couple months that you might notice, like, well, all of a sudden you're talking to, like your spouse or somebody that, you see all the time, but you're like, you know what? No, that's not okay. I want to focus on what I need, right? And what matters to my heart and what brings me joy, and, kind of feeling like you've got that support to really, figure out what your life should be like when you're creating it, in this portal that we are going to be, doing the ritual on in a little bit. And just to touch on, because we've got a little bit of time, the 7 planets, just again, so you guys kind of have a feel for, what energy is going to be coming up for you. So we've got Pluto is in retrograde. It started at beginning of mid-June and going to October. Pluto is about transformation. It's about rebirth. This is going to be prompting you to kind of look at what areas of your life need a reset, maybe some rest, some pause, like I need to breathe some new life into my health this summer, like this is I'm feeling, this Aries energy to really, step it up and transform and reset my health. Like knowing that you have this energy moving in your favor, take advantage. And we've got Saturn in retrograde. Saturn's kind of, the grandfather, right? The dad that's, here to teach us, got to show you some things, right? These are the lessons that you move through in life. So Saturn affects our concentration, our performance, our productivity. And so when it is in retrograde, you might feel, again, a little bit less ambitious, a little less disciplined, a little more lost. I've had several friends, mention recently, just, separate of each other, like, God, I'm just feeling a little lost, like I just can't kind of focus or concentrate. I don't know if you guys have had any of that coming up. Rhonda's like, she's like, every day.
When did this start?
Saturn started mid-June.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's the thing, I love, this is again, the human design, it's like astrology on steroids. And so just the human design and the astrology, when you guys know this stuff, doesn't it just take a weight off your shoulders? Because instead of you walking around going, oh my God, why is all this stuff happening to me? Like, you're kind of stuck in victim mode. And believe me, I go there. I mean, we all go there. I'm, not faulting anybody. But when you at least know what is happening in, the background, right? Like what is the stage that's kind of setting up all of the things that you're experiencing? It helps you take that personal, why is this happening to me out of it and go, oh, okay. Yeah, I'm feeling a little, like unmotivated. Okay, well, this is a great time for me to explore, right? Like maybe do some travel or, go out and have that Aries adventure that you're feeling called to do, to kind of reset yourself. And, that's when you can get some clarity sometimes is when you are forced out of your just day-to-day Saturn, this is what I do, this is what I'm supposed to do routine, or you just go into like, I'm going to go for a hike and sit by a creek and maybe just journal or, look at the sun or something. That's when you get those moments of clarity, right? So we need those retrograde, periods in our life to be able to move forward. So you've got, the universe is really giving you a setup, like Teresa said, this summer, to really have some time to really kind of cleanse, clear, figure out what it is that you are calling in, and then move forward in a very supported Aries way. So, think of adventure if you're feeling lost. It's like I'm a Qigong instructor, and in Chinese medicine, what I love about it is, unlike Western medicine, it instead of focusing on the problem, like, oh my gosh, you have cancer, oh my gosh, instant, fear and gloom and doom, they focus immediately on the opposite, on, what would be the antidote to that. So, if you're feeling lost, take yourself out of your routine, and then guess what? You will probably get some clarity and you'll be able to go back in. And then Neptune is Sirius is our spiritual sun. Neptune is the planet that impacts our level of spirituality, our level of connection with something greater than just me. And when you've got Neptune in retrograde, again, you are going to have this maybe like feeling disconnected, feeling like things might feel a little more chaotic, like you're just being tossed around in the wind, sometimes like you can feel a little more ungrounded. Maybe take be a little more negative in your thoughts because you aren't feeling the groundedness of being held, magnetically by the earth and, being guided by a greater wisdom than yourself. But if you are feeling at all lost, Neptune's going to be in retrograde through beginning of December. So, next couple months, it's a reminder to, go up into your dreams, right? Like what visions are pie in the sky, like, what is your imagination? That's the Neptune energy. It's giving you that chance to, maybe focus on what are your dreams telling you? What is your heart, guiding you to do, really connecting into your intuition, because just like when you go through loss, it's horrible and it's awful and we can't avoid it. But what loss ultimately does is it gives you the opposite. So what love is, right? And then when you are around people that you love, you love harder. You're more present with them, right? Because like the magnitude of loss. It's the same with retrograde. Sometimes if you feel the opposite of what that energy is normally bringing you, it can give you clarity. And then when it moves forward, you move forward way more sure-footed, and you can ground those dreams and the things that you were able to do with your imagination. Nurture yourself. Really important, as we are, trying to absorb all this light. It's like we forget. But Aries is here to remind us. And Rhonda, you can share and pop in your little, Aries energy, please, because that's that universe going, hey, put yourself first and make sure you're taking care of you. You got to be fully charged up, or your nervous system's going to be feeling all wonky, like we were talking about, trying to like figure out what to do and try to ground, just like lightning wants to ground. When we're being hit with all this extra light, we're trying to figure out how do we ground this in and use it in a way to really shift our lives in a positive direction. We got Venus in retrograde. I just talked about Venus in retrograde. You might feel like your relationships are a little, getting a little topsy-turvy, but it's all good. It needs to happen. Also money, money might feel a little intangible, but nothing's missing, in the universe when you know who you are, right? These outside things are just merely, again, put yourself just in that passenger seat and you're just taking a ride, and whatever's playing out, you're just observing it like you're in an airplane. I always say 30,000 foot view. That's what I do. I pull myself up and I look at the greater perspective and I try to, give myself that. And it usually shifts everything pretty instantaneously, for you. But ultimately, what Venus retrograde and, Leo's all about the heart. The love that we're all looking for is within us. We've got to practice that self-love, right? I mean, we can't really, how do we expect somebody else to love us when we don't love ourselves, when we don't feel worthy of being able to hold the love that we are, and being proud of who we are, all that Leo energy. So this is a really great opportunity for you to kind of, fill your tank and embody everything that you've learned. We have had a lot of upgrades this year. I'm sure you guys, last couple years, ever since COVID happened, it's like somebody had to pull the wool out from under us, right? But
yes.
That's what this retrograde, it does. Then you gotta, it's wonky. You gotta figure out how you land, but man, we know ourselves better after all that isolation. You know what I mean? Like there's beauty to be gleaned in anything, even tragedy. That's my big motto. So like, I'm always pushing that. Mercury's obviously going to be in retrograde because Mercury goes into retrograde quite often. But that's more towards end of August. But again, communication, thinking, some of the things that I mentioned. Uranus, sorry, I feel like I'm going on and on and on, but I think it is important for, people to know, because there is so much retrograde energy. I only have two more, I promise. Uranus is going to be in retrograde, and Uranus is the great awakener. Uranus is like the earthquake, like it will shake up your world to wake you up, right? And so it's ruled by Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. So what Uranus does is it brings the unconscious conscious. And so you can kind of become more awake and more conscious. And so it's important if that's in retrograde, just stay grounded. It's just, like I said, it's just feel like you're getting hit with a light storm, like in Star Wars, and they all had like the lightsabers, how'd they charge the lightsabers? Like we are lightsabers and we are just getting supercharged right now. So, again, connect in with yourself, trust whatever is happening and playing out is happening for a reason, even if you feel like things are getting shifted and shaken up a little bit. The last one is Jupiter. That's our big planet, right? Jupiter is all about growth and expansion and luck and, all those things. And so with Jupiter in retrograde, there could be things that come into your field that maybe challenge your growth, right? You might find like the past might feel like it's kind of repeating itself. But if you do feel that or that happens, it's so you can see and apply all you've learned, because I'm very awake and aware. Been doing the work, as a lot of people tuning into this show have. And so it is interesting, when I do have more of the observer consciousness and, watch what plays out in my life, I will see, patterns kind of coming up. You can call it karma, you can call it whatever, but every time it comes up, when I'm aware and I'm not emotionally reacting, in this victim kind of mode, but I'm like, oh, this is interesting. What is this showing up in my life again? It's like you are a little less reactive. You do move through it from a little higher perspective, right? It is giving you this chance to really, move through it with more grace, more ease. And that is what cleanses and clears karma, because once it no longer impacts you, it's not to say we reach this level of enlightenment and then all of the karma is magically washed away. We are who we are, and we always will have, triggers and things that come into our life, but it's how you choose to respond to it, right? And if you are continually working on yourself and upgrading, you find that you respond in completely different ways, and it allows you to really make peace, with everything, and to give you opportunities to really completely heal, and that's when you find all of a sudden it doesn't start to show itself anymore, or it might show itself, but you've healed from it. It's just so low on your scale, you're just like, okay, whatever. I don't even care, not even going to react. So, just sometimes you have to take some steps backwards just to make sure you're moving in the right direction. And you're not lost. You're just becoming found. You're finding your highest self right now. And so that's why I can't wipe the smile off my face. You guys probably noticed I've been smiling the whole time, because we are in this magical, let's get on to Lionsgate. We've got about 15 more minutes. So I'll talk a little bit about that, and then we'll do the attunement. But when you look at that Lionsgate portal that kind of culminates on August 8th, 888 is the number associated with infinity, right? It's associated in the tarot deck. It's the magician card. This is this really magical time when like anything is, possible. And it's just the soil. Like when you think of the summer and you look around and, a lot of us are, trying to grow gardens or whatever. This time of the year is when the soil, when we are, because remember, we are similar, a lot of same microbiome. It's incredibly fertile. during this time, so you will see. This is why when we talk about Lionsgate, you hear about Lionsgate and you hear manifestation, wow, I guess it's like super amplified time. There's exponential growth, there's exponential light coming in. So it's kind of like whatever you choose to focus on, that's why I said, be aware, be careful of what you are, culminating in your mind, because, our DNA, it takes light, all this incoming light. We're at the peak of summer and we've got, the Sirius, 24 times brighter than the sun, high up in the sky. We're talking, very high level, bringing that unconscious to conscious. This is activating us both on a physical level, but also on an awareness level. So you can really do some, clearing, some shadow works. You can really fully awaken, to kind of your best life and your highest timeline. But I can't stress enough what we're being given all of this energy to work with and to play with, because what it's trying to do is to show us that you have to be in a state of allowance. You can't be like, well, yes, you can be like, I'm a magician and I'm gonna, cast this spell and, then this voice, I'm controlling everything. Like if you're doing it from a mental perspective, there's a reason that our hearts, the electromagnetic energy that is emitted by our hearts and our brains that create our auric field, or the toroidal field around us, that is that 90% of what our energy system is picking up in any moment. There's a reason that that is happening, because that is what is calling in when you have the Lionsgate in times like these, where you really can, if you stay in a place of openness and you allow yourself to clear your crap out and hold, the light that is coming in, the highest potential, you can really get reconnected with your soul. Like we were talking with human design, like reconnected, remembering deeply, what your purpose is. It's kind of like this reset in a big way. That's why we're getting 7 planets in retrograde. And Teresa was saying, wow, I'm seeing like this year, like seems to be like a really extra Lionsgate, and we're getting this shift of the nodes, and all of this is swirling around, like at the same time. It's really giving you an opportunity to, leap forward, like take 10 steps forward instead of but it's your choice. We have free will, right? And so, are you doing the work or are you not? And that's what it comes down to. And if you're not even sure, like I'm beginning, to just kind of wake up and, really become more interested in this kind of thing, where do I even start? Because we are moving into Leo season. This is Lionsgate. This is, all about our heart. Our heart is our sun, right? Like this beams out. I think, what is it? Our heart's electromagnetic field is what, 20 times more stronger than our mind. I think that's what I was trying to say earlier. But this is where you hold your light, right? And so practice gratitude. That's such an easy, quick way for you to really talk about instantaneous results. If you say, today, instead of complaining, I'm gonna make sure, 10 times throughout the day that I just stop and I notice something like, oh, wow, I got through my coffee line, 5 minutes quicker than I normally do. That's awesome. Or, hey, like I made it through a green light instead of a red light. I mean, super simple stuff, because what that does is it instantaneously shifts your focus to more positive, higher vibrational levels of consciousness. And just like the toroidal electromagnetic field that we emit, then like attracts like. You start to notice you're bringing in more things to be, oh, wow, well, my life isn't looking so bad after all, right? Like I'm, noticing more and more to be grateful for. That's a great place to start. You are the master of your energy. It is It is time to get out of victim mode. And we are being given the support and everything we need. But you have to do that by really being aware of what you place your attention and your focus on, because science is finally catching up with what a lot of these esoteric wisdoms have known for eternity, that that you are hearing about quantum entanglement, and they're finally they're scratching their heads. Oh, wow. Okay, wait. So consciousness, follows intent and actually entangles with what you focus on, to like create a connection. So yeah, you can Google it and YouTube it or whatever, but I mean, it's a real thing. So just know your consciousness creates your reality way more than you realize. And this is such a great time, because this is such a magnified time to take that and to focus on what you want to call in and watch it happen. So do you guys have any input or anything you want to cover before we go into the attunement phase?
The only thing I could think of was all those planets in retrograde are helping us clear our past shit before we walk into the future. So that was sorry, but that's what I was thinking, that all these little past things that we should have worked on before we've got a chance to clear them before we take this big leap into the future, and using the portals that are available to us to do that. So.
You're so right. And this is just an opportunity to we get this chance for a quantum leap, right, forward with all of this energy. Or, you can just continue to hold the density of all of your shit, like Rhonda said, and just keep moving on, and doing your thing. It's up to you. But this is all about self-empowerment.
Yeah, and this is the time when we can drop those bags, or we can carry them on our backs for the rest of our lives. We drop them, leave them, and take that train into the future.
Yeah, let's drop it.
Amen to that. I love it. So, okay, great. Why don't we go ahead? This is, we're airing this right as we move into, the Lionsgate energy. It's not like it's just on 8/8, but 8/8, just because it holds such a vibrational high level frequency of manifestation. That's the culmination. But we're going to just move through a ritual that you guys can do really anytime, throughout, the next, month, because
is there a good crystal to use for Lionsgate, like a citrine?
Yes, that's exactly. You read my mind. Anything, just like we're working with the yellow and the blue energy in the candles. Citrine, do you have some? Yes, I have some too. Yep, that I'm using. Anything yellow that is like orange, because you really just want to bring in this vibrance, this vitality, this amplified energy.
I got cat's eyes.
Oh, that's incredible. Oh, I like that. That shines like a star. I'm going to relax. Just that's the theme. This
it bebop or something like that.
Yeah, carnelian too. Yeah.
Ooh, carnelian. You guys are great. You're so
orange selenite.
I've never seen orange selenite.
Beautiful.
Where did you find that? I've never seen orange selenite.
That's a beauty.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I keep lagging, you guys.
That's okay. You have storm.
I can't make it show
at the time of this airing.
Orange.
I'll be in Bancroft.
It's for creativity
at
and stuff.
Mineral Show, so I'll look for one of those.
You'll be collecting more rocks in Bancroft, and Teresa is the queen of crystals. I remember going years ago, because we've all known each other for years now. I used to call Teresa up and I'd be like, I got a crystal question. I need a chat. And man, she would just you would always have, just tons and tons of information. She's so dialed in. If anybody, I'm sure you probably do that in some of your offerings. You help work with crystals, right? Because you're so connected.
Well, I do want to bring it more back. Yeah, because that'd be fun. We got to do that.
Oh gosh, yeah. No, I thank you guys. That's beautiful because that's what this ritual is. It's again that quantum entanglement. You are creating quantum entanglement right now. And so, take an area of your home maybe that you can have, this all of this in place for the next couple weeks. And any of the crystals that we held up and we talked about, or anything in your home that you want to, put just to kind of start upping that.
Yeah, a little Lionsgate altar with a crystal thread. Good idea.
Yeah,
Just a
yeah.
yellow candle and
And so
picture of a lion.
she's got the sage. So then next step is once you've got your space, and you've got, like we said, the candles, yellow, orange for the sun, blue for the Sirius star. When you think of Sirius energy, when we're doing this attunement, this is my.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, you've got it too. Look.
Great minds think alike.
Oh my gosh. So
Oh,
yes,
you guys.
this is the sun star. Look at that. Blessings. And so when you think of, that star energy,
I love
it's
it, you
that
guys.
electric blue, right? Just, it's just pure. And so we both gave you, a visual that you can kind of hold when you are lighting your candles. So before I light my candle, Teresa, can you just kind of sage this space for everybody? Do you have sage?
Yeah, she does. She's just a little bit lagging.
Oh, okay.
She's already saging.
So she's in process.
Yes.
She's in process of saging, I can tell. And I brought my blue water from Shasta here.
Oh my gosh, that's glorious.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We are, you guys,
Here we
if
go.
you
Here's
are
the
watching
sage.
this, man, we are setting such a high vibe frequency. I love this between all of us and the quantum of all of our individual energies coming together. That's why the show that you do. I just am so grateful that you all, give your hearts and your time and your love to put this out, because, when people are gathered, the quantum. Somebody told me once, and I thought it was a great example. They said, when you think, if you have ever gone to church or something, and you think you see a choir as opposed to just one person singing, right? When you have a group of people, the reverberation, it just can impact things so much more at a quantum level. So, okay, Teresa, sage the space. So once you've got your space clear and you've got what you want in your space, let's go ahead and light our candles and get that fire energy in. She brought in the air, the clearing with the air, and that is tied to our creativity. So she's got that rolled in, and then we've got the earth element represented with our crystals. Oh, yes. Well, you can't see it with this one. Maybe this one. Yes. I love it. I love it. And then you've got, just this beautiful space, and I'm going to take us into 5 minutes of the frequencies, and you can close your eyes and just feel yourself connecting in to the sun and connecting into the star Sirius. And, maybe just thinking, as we move into this attunement of, what do I want to create? Leo is creative. It's one of the most, if not the most creative sign and energy. So you are just in this beautiful, creative space, and we've got the elements represented and moving around and moving through you. So hopefully you will find some beautiful inspiration in that. And then I've got to get us cleared these chakras. Just going to vibrationally clear all 7 chakras. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to close our eyes. And we're going to start to take some nice, deep, letting go breaths. And we're going to start to feel the light in our heart really just come alive and start to expand out into our spinal column, and just start to move that light, that soul, that uniqueness that is your spark, that is your pilot light. Start to move that up and down your spinal column and really bring your nervous system online. And with this next exhale, I want you to just take that light down your spinal column and move it down your legs and through your feet and feel it connecting in with the magnetics of the earth. And as you feel the magnetics of the earth just pulling you ever so gently down, down, down until you reach the center of the earth, the crystalline center. And guess what crystals do? They hold and they amplify energy. So see yourself plugging your light into the crystalline core of the earth and start to acclimate with all of that beautiful, perfect, nourishing energy that the earth provides us. And really resetting yourself, resetting that microbiome to perfection. The earth gives us all that we need, all the sustenance. And start to bring that beautiful, amplified, elevated, vibrational light up through this channel, this column that you've created. Feel it moving back in through your feet. You might even feel your feet buzzing, just a little like electric, as you move this energy up through that spinal cord and moving it up and out the crown of your head. And see that beautiful energy, that spark of light just shooting past the moon, past the sun, past all of the stars in our galaxy, and giving gratitude as you do this to Sirius for allowing us to upgrade our conscious awareness, to bring the unconscious conscious, so that we can fully embody in the self-actualized beings that we are, bringing our highest self into our physical beings so that we can create and manifest on demand. And giving gratitude to the sun for all of the life force and the vitality and the nourishment and the electricity, the creativity, all that it brings us. And then as we see ourselves moving past all of the stars in our galaxy until we reach that invisible barrier of all that we are consciously aware of. And with this next breath, see yourself shooting past that barrier, just lifting it ever so gently, like you'd open a door into the unconscious, into the place of all potential, where all possibility of creation lies. And start to just tune into that visual we gave you. And I'm going to play 5 minutes of frequencies that will align you in the highest possible way with this beautiful Lionsgate energy. one nice last deep breath. And open your eyes, just letting all those subtle frequencies settle as deeply into your body, into your bones as you can. How did you feel, Teresa? Did you have any inspiration or any visuals, any experiences?
You're muted, Teresa.
There she is.
There. Okay. So sorry. Katie, was there any voices in your track playing?
Yeah, she was
Because
talking
I was
a little
hearing
bit.
voices talking.
Oh,
Was there
I
any
did.
voices?
I did see a few things. Yes, but if you were
Okay.
hearing on a very subtle level, just so you guys know, like
Okay.
some of the things that I included in this particular playlist were a lot of archangel frequencies, some ascended master frequencies.
Wow.
So you might have even you might have
Yeah.
been hearing things, right on a deep level.
Yeah. Actually, I thought I heard my
I
name
was
right at the
hearing
beginning.
some instruction, like technical instruction. And they took me into a
Oh,
room, and Uriel was there, and Isis was there.
oh,
It was like a symposium where there were different speakers, and they were speaking, and so I was hearing that stuff, and it was giving instruction, but at the basics of it all was you just gotta see it. So I thought, well, that's too simple, but I kept trying to hear more of what it was, and it was just basically, you just gotta see it. That simple.
Wow.
and what were they referring to when they said see it?
Whatever they were talking about to me that was technical, I wasn't hearing it. So I was thinking that this is just downloading, for instance, but it was like giving me some basic instruction, blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, but maybe it seemed like a lot or something. And so they just basically at the basics, it's just, you just gotta see it.
Wow.
And
And you
so
might
I'm
not even
thinking
know
that
this.
it's a focus. I gotta have a focus and a sight, a clear vision.
Okay, focus and clear vision. And that
I
is,
didn't hear you.
oh, I'm agreeing with you because when we talked about that retrograde energy, that is kind of what that is giving us space, right? To bring
Okay.
in that level of clarity, right? That focus and that clear vision so that we can move forward with the Aries energy that we have now coming in. And you like probably don't even know how aligned what you experienced is because Isis is connected to the star Sirius. Isis in as the Egyptians like
Yeah.
really revered Isis and attached her to Sirius because it's such a time, a fertile time, right?
Right.
So that is just like unbelievable that brought that in. Oh my gosh.
And of course, Uriel's the angel of light, right? So,
Teresa, thank you
Yeah.
so much for sharing that because I think we're talking about
He
inspiration,
was there with
right?
all his colors.
ooh, awesome.
How about you, Rhonda? Did you have any experience?
Yeah.
No, I was just drifting away on just chilling out on the frequencies like I normally do. I can't even. It's like trying to recall dreams that you can't put your fingers on. But yeah, it was so
Oh.
calming and so yeah,
Well, just
static
just
free. That's what it
so if
says. Static
anybody
free.
they can come back and watch this segment, right? As much as you
Oh,
to
yeah,
attune.
you can replay those tunes over and over, especially before you go to bed. It's a really good time, or first
Yes.
thing in the morning before you get up. It's a really good time to play those frequencies. But like I said, right at the beginning when you said there, I could hear voices before you were talking. I know you were talking, but it wasn't quite picking up your voice, like near the end. But at the very beginning, I swear I heard my name. So
Wow.
that was very interesting.
Wow.
And I know I was like, what?
Oh.
Okay.
Wow.
These are some intense frequencies then.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to listen to them again even more now,
Yeah.
and then get it. I was thinking we'll probably skip the questions, except we know that this time of year maybe we should all make a grid with our citrine quartz and maybe some
Absolutely.
rutilated quartz and some golden healers or whatever. Like make a grid that way and use those to bring in the light for Lionsgate. Put a little lion in there.
Oh, yes. If you have anything like, oh, that would be perfect.
Little lion grid. Maybe an Archangel Uriel card. That would be good. Yeah. And Isis.
Yeah.
Across
Like you said.
the world will have their own little sacred space.
You know, a little sacred space for Lionsgate, that would be kind of cool, wouldn't it? Yeah. Do you have a song you might want to at this time of year that comes to mind that you might want us to play as a theme song besides your biotunes?
The only song that popped into my mind, and I mean, it was a song I learned growing up in church. So I don't even know. It's called "This Little Light of Mine."
Yep, I learned that one too. Yeah,
Oh,
but I'm not
yeah,
going to sing it.
right.
Yeah,
Time of light.
It's true. It's time to let it shine.
It's time to let it shine. That's what
And-
Leos do. They let their heart shine. Lead with your heart, and you can't go wrong.
we must have been really tuned in because just before the show, I thought, I'm going to pull out my Gateway activation, see if there's a Sirius card in there or a
Look at
Lionsgate card in there. Oh,
Twinsies. I love that deck.
I do too.
And
Yeah.
I had drawn, I always draw from that deck just once a week, to kind of see what energy is with me. And this is actually what I drew before we, today.
Wow. So
Yeah.
you drew it just there.
Oh, really?
I went and looked for it. You drew it. And it says,
Oh,
yes,
neat.
proceed, be seen, and push through.
Wow.
So, yes,
Yes. Say yes.
proceed, be seen, push through. So push through that slogging, bringing up the past energy, push through it, leave it behind, and proceed, right?
Says the Aries. Perfectly said.
Maybe get one or two of those projects you started done too. That would be good. Big experience. Anyways, so what is the node in the south end? You said in Libra. So that's
about
balancing.
It's about relationships, right? And so, yes, that's why relationships might be a theme, that you might see. If you can think back, the last time we had the nodes in these positions was 2004 to 2006. So you might just even think back and just, what was going on in my life, that might be helpful.
Okay, cool. So, just before I get to what you have on offer, Teresa, tell us what you have on offer for Lionsgate, because I just want to showcase both of you because you've got so much to give this time. You have special readings going on for Lionsgate. People can get in touch with you and tell them where they can find you, Teresa.
Yeah, I'm going to make a post about it, and you just find me on Facebook or on my email, teresawarrenempath@gmail.com. But I was every year I like to do cards and say what are these energies coming through and what are they doing. And then Lightstar came out with a new reading using like putting her deck into 5 piles. And then it was actually a lot like my angel blessing reading, if any of you have had those. But so one card is telling you who's working with you and what they're doing. And then the second card's a helper. And then the next 3 cards are what energy's coming to you, what do you got to clear. And then the last one is just any additional information. And since I do all these from the Akashic Records, it's additional information from your Akash to be validated there. So a little 5-card offer for this year's Lionsgate.
Oh, that's awesome.
Cool.
And what's new with you, Bilou? Katie, have you got anything new going on?
Well, just in line with the Lionsgate portal, I am in. If anybody's ever, been interested or worked with, the law of attraction, manifestation, the law of reciprocity, I'm in this beautiful group that it's like it's a manifestation playground based on we bring in the 5 elements and the universal energies and the quantum-ness of our energy, and do some really high level creation. So you can just DM me if you want information on that. I'd love to share it out and just see more people, really being supported and, manifesting their dreams and, really doing some positive work in the world. So you can DM me. I'm on Facebook and like personally, Katie O'Brien Steinle. And then you can also, I have a Facebook group, Discover Your Design. So those are ways to get a hold of me if you're interested.
And you have your Patreon, which I'm a part of that group, where we meet every month and we, discuss the energies.
I gotta check it out. I mean, if you did resonate with the tones, I mean, for the price of a cup of coffee, it's like for $10 a month, I do every week. We do very specific themes and we deep dive. And, I'll pull in frequencies to really create harmony and optimization in your life that you can listen to, as many times as you want. And then once a month we come together. Rhonda is in my celestial circle. And Rhonda, is that just not I'm not just.
I missed you guys because I haven't been able to go the last 2 times, but yeah, but at least I get the replays and I can also listen to the tones, and I just enjoyed listening to the tones.
It's just a magical space where, again, just creating these spaces to be able to hold, people moving up and moving forward, and let's up level together. I'm not fun. You guys might as well come with me.
Pro tip for you people out there: you can use those frequencies that she has to program your water. So you can play into your water and you can drink those frequencies too. And then they're right incorporated in your bed. So you can always do the experiment first with these Lionsgate ones that we just experienced. Play it to your water. It'll be downloaded on podcast for you. So it may even show up early in your podcast feed if I'm completely honest with you and I can get everything jam all done. And you can just skip to the end and play it to you. Keep playing in a feedback loop to your water. So
yeah, that's a great recommendation. I mean, you can actually get apps now that will take solfeggio tones and different things like that I pull in and do that. So yeah, why not just do it this way? I love it.
I'm always or subscribe to Katie's Patreon and get them downloaded out, and you can just keep playing them over and over again too. That way, that's easy as well. So anything else there, Teresa? Because I'd have to go back in time because I know that this week on Spirit Sessions we'll be together again with another person. But this is a special pre-recorded session. We are all off on our adventures this weekend, but we wanted to get Katie before because we wanted her live for this, but she was off on an adventure, so we couldn't get her. So we're getting her. We're timeline hopping and getting you early so we can place you at the right spot.
Saturn retrograde. We're all adventuring.
We're all adventuring. So super. Thank you so much for enjoying this program with us. And if you like us, please show your love by subscribing to our YouTube channel, subscribing to our podcast, follow us wherever you get your podcasts. We're there now. It's our 3rd season on podcasting. Give us a review. That would really help us out. Write a review for the podcast so we can do it out, and maybe subscribe to our YouTube so we can get a couple thousand followers. And we're about 171,000 behind Steve Nobel, but we're trying to catch up. Okay. Anything else, Teresa?
I can't think of a thing.
We can't think of a thing. Well, you guys have a great week and happy Lionsgate to everybody. And thank you so much, Katie. Stick on after the show, and because I have something for you there. Okay. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Enjoy, guys. This is a magical time.